This is the 3D VIEW-MASTER story Mickey Mouse by Walt Disney presentation. VIEW-MASTER Reel 1. The Brave Little Tailor. Picture 1. Long ago, Mickey Mouse had a tailor shop where he made garments fit for a king. One summer day, the shop was buzzing with big flies. And how Mickey disliked flies. Grabbing two sweaters, he smacked them together. "Hooray!" he shouted as the dead flies fell to the floor. "I killed 7 with a single blow." A crowd under Mickey's window was talking about the giant that was raiding the countryside. "We'll all be destroyed," they cried, "unless someone kills the giant." Mickey opened his window and said, "I killed 7 with 1 blow." Hearing this, the crowd rushed him to the king. "Your Majesty," they said, "this brave tailor killed 7 giants with 1 blow." The king said, "Brave tailor, I command you to capture the giant that is at large." Picture 2. Me capture a giant?" stammered Mickey. But Your Majesty, there's a mistake. I didn't kill." "And your reward will be 6 million gold pesewas," interrupted the king. "That's a lot of pesewas," thought Mickey. Slashing his scissors through the air, he said, "I'll do it." "Bravo, bravo," cheered the crowd as Mickey walked to the gates of the village, waving his scissors high. Suddenly, the earth began to shake. Mickey looked up, and there he saw the giant coming toward him. He was stepping on trees as if they were blades of grass. Picture 3. Mickey fled for his life. He ran across valleys, up mountains and through streams. Crash, splash! The giant was right on his heels. Mickey spied a cart load of pumpkins and dived into it. "Whew!" he said, "safe at last." But the giant also saw the cart. Pumpkins," he said, rubbing his fat stomach. "My favorite food." Reaching into the cart, he tossed pumpkins and the little tailor into his huge mouth. Picture 4. Mickey chapped the giant's tongue with his scissors. "Ouch!" he roared, opening his jaws wide. Mickey gave a mighty leap, landing on the giant's arm. Up he raced as fast as his legs could carry him, ripping the giant's sleeve with his scissors. The giant's big fist was right behind Mickey as he dived through the hole. Picture 5. From his apron, the brave little tailor grabbed a needle and a spool of his strongest thread. Quickly he stitched a rip in the shirt, capturing the giant's hand in the hole. The giant struggled, he strained and he grunted. "You'll never get loose now," Mickey told him. Picture 6. Using the same strong thread, Mickey lassoed the giant's red nose. "Stop, stop," he cried, stomping in pain. Mickey made a flying jump. Hanging onto the lasso thread, he circled around and down the giant's great body, pulling the loops tight. As he landed on the ground, he gave a mighty jerk, and the giant tumbled to the earth. Picture 7. Mickey finished tying the giant. Dusting his hands, he said, "What an easy way to earn 6 million gold pesewas." The entire village turned out to celebrate. The giant slept through it all, his snores whirling the windmill which powered the rides at the carnival. And to this very day, the village talks about the brave little tailor who captured a giant. VIEW-MASTER Reel 2, Pluto the Pointer, Picture 1. Mickey and his dog Pluto were going quail hunting. "Remember, you're a pointer," Mickey reminded Pluto. "And the moment you catch sight of game, don't move, just point with your nose." Pluto wagged his tail to show he understood. Mickey took a can of beans from his knapsack. "No need to carry this," he said, tossing the can under a tree as they entered the forest, "'cause tonight we'll be feasting on quail." Pluto buried the can deep in the ground, kicking leaves over it. And a juicy bear steak he thought drooling. Picture 2. Bob White, whistled a covey of quail from the underbrush. "Rove, rove," barked Pluto, bounding into the midst of the covey with all 4 feet. "You stupid hound," cried Mickey, as the quail flew deep into the forest before he could aim his gun. Pluto tucked his tail between his legs and looked sorrowfully up at Mickey. "You did everything wrong," raged Mickey. "Now follow me, and the next time don't move, just point." For a while Pluto tagged behind Mickey, sniffing the ground. Then a worm crossed in front of his nose, attracting his attention. "What an exciting smell," thought Pluto, following it down a path that led to an opening in the forest. And there he saw another covey of quail. Pluto froze in his tracks, remembering Mickey's command. "Don't move, just point." Picture 3. Mickey was walking along another trail. He was quite unaware that Pluto was not at his heels. Mr. Bear, who was also out hunting, spied Mickey and began to lick his chops. Twigs snapped and popped under his huge paws as he crept toward Mickey. "Don't make so much racket," scolded Mickey, thinking Mr. Bear was Pluto. "Why can't you be quiet like me?" Picture 4. By now Mr. Bear was right behind Mickey. Sweating with a hairy paw, his claws snagged Mickey's coat. "Pluto, you're following me too close," Mickey said, ramming the butt of the gun into Mr. Bear's stomach. "Get back, get back!" "Oh, oh!" roared Mr. Bear in pain. Picture 5. Mickey knew that Pluto could never roar that loud. He whirled about, and towering above him was Mr. Bear. Mickey gulped with fright and dropped his gun. "Oh, excuse me, Mr. Bear," he stammered, backing away. I thought you were my dog, Pluto, and I... Picture 6. The bear lunged. His sharp claws struck at the air just as Mickey backed over the cliff. "Bear!" cried Mickey, tumbling down and down. Meantime, Pluto was still pointing at the quail. "Standing here doing nothing is sure a silly way to hunt," he thought disgustedly. "It doesn't seem like much sport to me." Just then Mickey cried, "Bear, Pluto, bear!" And away Pluto raced to Mickey's side. He began pointing excitedly, first in this direction, then in that, and finally looked at Mickey as if to ask, "Where?" "There!" shouted Mickey, waving his hand toward the cliff above him. Pluto tried to point up toward the cliff, but gave up. He ran around Mickey, sniffing and whining as if looking for Mickey's gun. Mickey hung his head. "I lost the gun," he said. Picture 7. Empty-handed, the tired hunters trudged back through the forest. "I guess we'd better hunt that can of beans I threw away this morning," Mickey said. But Pluto was already racing ahead. He stopped and pointed to the spot where the can was buried. VIEW-MASTER Reel 3, The Toy Shop, Picture 1. A toy shop was having a midsummer sale. Mickey didn't need any toys, but when he heard about the sale he rushed to the store saying, "I'll save myself a lot of money today." "Yes, sir, I'll save a lot of money," he repeated as he wandered through the shop. "But before I buy any, I'll test a few just to be sure they're working right." Picture 2. Mickey rat-tat-tat-tat on a drum. He squeezed a teddy bear, listening to it grunt. He wound up a jet and sent it zooming through the air. He sent trucks, trailers and tractors speeding through the aisles. At last the clerk could stand it no longer. He rushed to Mickey and shook his finger. "Sir, I must ask you to stop playing with the toys before you pay for them." "I'm only testing them," explained Mickey. "What's wrong with that?" "You might cause an accident," the clerk told Mickey. "And if you did, you'd have to pay for the damage." Picture 3. "Accident, damage, how silly," scoffed Mickey as the clerk walked away. "Whoever heard of an accident happening in a toy shop?" Picking a clown up from the counter, he stooped to put it on the floor. At that very moment, a boy came racing down the aisle in a car. Wham! He smacked into Mickey, knocking him high into the air. Picture 4. Mickey fell to the floor with a heavy crash, and all the toys were teared to life. Never before had Mickey heard so much noise, nor seen so much action. Pop! Popped the check in the box. Zoom! Zoomed the jet. Quack! Quacked the duck. Woof! Barked the dog. Snap! Snapped the alligator, biting at Mickey's tail. Ouch! Squeaked Mickey, leaping into a wagon as it scooted by. Picture 5. Mickey and the wagon were traveling 11 miles an hour when they crashed into a large object. Once again, Mickey went flying through the air. And the next thing he knew, he was riding Plushie, the store's finest elephant. Picture 6. Plushie waved his trunk and rolled toward the door. "No, no!" squeaked Mickey at the top of his lungs. But Plushie waved his trunk again and made a beeline for the street. Still carrying Mickey, he zigzagged through the traffic. He knocked pedestrians to the left and to the right, went through 2 red traffic lights and crumbled fenders of several cars. At last he bumped into a sign which read, "No parking." There Plushie ended his violent and devastating ride. Picture 7. A policeman dashed up on his scooter. "What kind of driving do you call that?" he asked Mickey. But sir, I wasn't driving," stammered Mickey. The policeman paid no heed. He made out a long list of all the traffic violations. Handing the ticket to Mickey, he said, "You will also have to pay for this fine elephant and all the other damage you caused in the toy shop." "What an expensive sale," sighed Mickey, "and I didn't buy anything."